Can you hear me right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So I guess I'll wait another minute or two, I'll wait another minute and then we'll get started with today's 10K update. I'm going to attach a slide deck that you can follow along. So this way you can take notes if you want to, but I'm going to attach a slide deck. And just wait another minute before we get started. And then we'll do Q&A at the end as well. For those of you that might have questions or that want to comment on this particular virtual challenge. So it's not late to join the challenge. And I'll talk about that throughout the session tonight. So without any further delay, because I respect everyone's time, I will get started with the presentation. So I'm going to attach here a slide deck so you guys can follow along. And this way we'll start the venue. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to attach it. Okay, 1 sec. I feel like I'm super bloom because I'm clicking everything on my computer. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I hope you guys can see this. I'm going to upload a document. Just give it 1 sec. Okay, so there's the link. So can you guys, can someone tell me if they were okay with opening it? I just want to make sure. Works? Okay. So welcome to the Vegas 2018 Virtual Trading Challenge. And I started this challenge really to engage people to trade as a team. A lot of people can do paper trading on their own, which is fine. But, you know, when you're doing it on your own, everyone has crazy capital. You know, some platforms give you 100,000, 200,000, or you can even customize it. However, with this one in particular, I customized it for 10,000 to try to make it more realistic so that this way as a group, we're working together towards the same objective, which I'll talk about in a second. So before I get into the challenge, I just want to talk a little bit about me, and that way you guys get to know me a little bit. So obviously I'm Vegas, but I'm Natalie, and I have been doing for 3 years. And prior to being a trader, I worked in operations, and I was managing a lot of different organizations. I was also a chief administrative officer for a startup company that was developing software for the actual hedge funds within the US and the UK. And as well, I like to be entrepreneurial. So I'm also working on my own little thing, which is involved in the trading industry as well, but more on the financial literacy and education. So I really am very passionate about trading and very passionate about people wanting to learn and helping people. And this is why this 10K was here. Also, the type of trader I am, people always ask me, Vegas, what kind of trader are you? Because sometimes you swing trade and now you day trade. So I am a momentum trader. I love the action. I can't stay away from it. It bores me if I only swing trade. I love swing trades because really the real money is in swing trading. Especially if you can be patient, the money will come, especially when there's a good setup. Sometimes days, a few weeks, but when it comes, it's actually very satisfying, very rewarding. However, as much as I love those setups, I love day trading. And what I trade specifically is I trade on resistance and support, which Super Bloom talked about last week. And so when I post ideas for entry, they're not price targets, they're entry points. If you are to look up on a chart, you will see that that's the support and resistance point. So when they actually trigger on level 2, then of course the limit order gets filled and I proceed with going into the trade. And then when I'm in, I always tell you guys that, trade is active, meaning the trade is live because I'm now in the trade. So I love those kinds of trades. With regards to swings, I usually like to buy, sometimes you'll notice, a lot of uncrowded trades. So meaning that not a lot of people have been buying this particular tick. And I love it because to me, there's a lot of hidden gems and I do a lot of due diligence on why I'm going for a swing trade. And I actually give myself a target and then I stick to the trading plan because a lot of times my swings will take a dip and some people say, Vegas, what do I do? It's going down. It's down $1. It's down 50 cents. And I tell them, well, I'm sticking to the trading plan because the dips are the gift and you can track the swings and you'll notice that they all meet the target most of the time. Sometimes, yes, I've had to close a swing for a loss. And when I do, I am happy to share that with you so that I keep you informed on the status of the swing trades. So enough about that. So now I'm just going to go over to the objective of the trading challenge and why I set it up. So if you go to slide 2, the objective really is to evolve a space that really highlights and contributes to the development, values, and approach of really in particular for you guys. It's designed so that we can analyze and research topics. It's also to stimulate and challenge you. And I want you, eventually, I will be inviting the top performers or the most improved people from the challenge to participate in the Fireside conversations each month. And then it's also a chance for you to engage with each other with regards to, how you're doing. Maybe one of your peers is going to see that you're doing really good and they might want to speak to you and get your advice. So the whole point is to share and shape your learning experience. So if you go to the next slide, there is a trading platform that this challenge is on. And the platform is called How the Market Works. So if you go to the website, How the Market Works, you'll be able to sign up. And when you sign up, you'll see there's an option to actually go to the Vegas 10K challenge. So you can click the link that's there and you'll be able to go to the site and register. So the next slide, I just talked about teamwork and really that trading as a team is better than trading alone. Who wants to trade alone? I mean, before voice features came on, trading can be very boring and very lonely. And at least even if you don't get to speak on voice, you can at least be part of a group of people that has a team that does talk throughout the day. Not everyone talks all day. Some people don't even talk, and that's fine. But we still communicate by typing messages, and we're able to still connect with people. So that's why trading as a team is definitely better than being on your own, and you can collaborate and be more successful. So if you go to the next slide, which has a picture of the New York Stock Exchange, the platform is really good. The platform has a lot of information, and they have a section there called Educational Resources. If you were to go there, you'll see that they have a glossary section, and they have so many definitions that are written for high school students. So you don't need to be a college graduate or, be feeling like you're not smart enough to understand all this type of terminology. You can just click it explain things is very easy to understand. They also know, as part of the challenge, if you were to take a trade before you get your order filled, it does ask you, why are you going in this trade? So you have to just quickly put a quick note. You could just put DT for day trade or SW for swing. It's just for your own personal development and for you to connect with, why am I in this trade? Like, is it a short? Is it a swing? Is it just a news play? What is there? Is there a catalyst? So that this way you can review. It's like an online journal to help you to see how you're doing with the trade. If you go to the next slide, there's a section there called trading tools. So I listed these tools, which are also listed in the website. And you'll see that there's a list of tools there. There's Wall Street Journal, there's Bar Chart, people know FinViz, there's Yahoo, there's Short Squeeze. Short Squeeze, one of my favorites, because I love seeing how many shorts are on a ticker. And then I love to do my little, what I call Vegas barbecue. And that's because I buying tickers that have a huge percentage of shorts in the float, especially if they don't have a lot of days left to cover. So I really love those plays because a lot of momentum. And then we have also NASDAQtrader.com. That's really good when there's a halt. It's good to bookmark these actual websites so that you can easily refer to them and whenever you might need to. Okay. So the next slide is just about a fireside chat. So my intent with this virtual platform is that each month, whoever's in first place amongst the group, I think when I last checked, there was 53 people in the challenge. So there's not tons and tons, but it doesn't matter. Whoever's in it is who is going to be part of the fireside chat. So he or she, whoever is in first place, will be able to participate in a fireside chat. And the first one will be on January 31st. And I'm doing it on time, on schedule, because it's a fresh start the next day. So the fireside chat really is to talk to whoever is in first place at the end of the month and to ask them to share with the group, what have you been made you in first place? Tell us your strategy. What have you been trading? What made you take those trades? Size? How did you know to go out? When did you get in? Like, did you get in at support and resistance, or did you just go in because it was a swing and it was a catalyst? Was it an overnight swing and then you sold it the next day? I mean, everyone has a totally different trading style. So I really would love whoever is going to be first at the end of the month to kind of share their trading journey and how they've achieved the success. Because I personally, can share so many things with everyone, but why only hear from me? Like, I am not the guru. I am just here to share suggestions, share ideas, share strategies. There's so many great people in our group or that are in the virtual challenge from even groups that are not part of United. And it doesn't matter. The whole thing is teamwork and collaboration. The only thing with this challenge is if you blow up your 10K, you are disqualified from the contest, because this challenge is for the whole year. It's going to go into the end of 2018 until December 31st inclusive. So this is a really interesting challenge because it's not just a challenge that's for sometimes a month or two, like I've seen out there, or just for 6 months or 3 months, and then people just, lose interest and then that's it. So this is going to be for the whole year. And then I'm going to put together some prizes. I haven't finalized that yet, but I will have some prizes for the top performers. And then also I'm looking to also include the most improved. That's really important for me to recognize those individuals, because everyone always, the whole point is to always improve what your trading account size is, or your percentage gains. This is the whole point of the exercise. So I'll be doing that. Then we're going to talk about, I want to talk to you about, go to the slide where it's called challenges so far. And it's like invest, buy, sell, hold, long term. What do I do? And I got to tell you, me personally, the first couple days, I probably was in second place. And then I thought, okay, that's not bad. Then I went to fifth place, then sixth place. And now I'm towards the bottom. And I thought to myself, wow, I'm at the bottom? And I couldn't believe it. But I'm not surprised, because my style of trading I talked about earlier is I love to day trade. I love momentum trades. And I'm, all about that. And I do also do swing trades. So for this particular challenge, I wanted to try to slow myself down. And I wanted to actually only do some swing trades for this particular month. And I'm going to have to reassess my trading style. So I actually went into some swing trades. And what I noticed is my trades are not moving. So I started to tell myself, oh my gosh, if this was a real account, I mean, I know it's not, it's a virtual, but I got to tell you, it's still frustrating me because I'm feeling bored. It's created some anxiety because I wanted to, to slowly progress up the rankings. And I'm actually questioning, what could I actually do swing trades longer term if I decided to not do day trades? And it's making me realize, no, I mean, I'm the type of trader that can't just not do day trades. So I've recognized that about myself, that I could never just do swing trades only. And a lot of traders out there, that's all they do. I personally can't be one of those traders because I would be bored to death. So I've learned that so far this month. And I've also teaching myself more patience, because I actually thought, you know what, I'm in some swings. I have my biggest position is in any. And I was thinking, maybe I should just close it for a loss. I mean, the loss would be about $180. But the thing is, I don't want to close it just yet, because I believe in the setup that I believe that is potentially coming for myself. And I'm just going to, be patient and wait. But I may revisit that because, maybe it's just better I take the loss and go into something very different, another setup, other setups that I've seen. So sometimes I might just cut my loss and move on to the next trade if this one's not going the way I want. And because it's part of why I'm doing this. So it's really testing me a lot. I mean, you guys know, those of you that know me and have worked with me, you guys know I'm very, very, very patient, and it's not necessarily the best quality. Sometimes I hold on too long, especially in day trades, and sometimes it goes against me because the trade will run, and instead of scaling out like I probably should have, I still hold it. And because I have a target in mind with my day trades, and sometimes the trade doesn't go any higher. So I missed out on some profits. Even though I still close it green, I miss out on profits because I didn't want to close it sooner. So I'm trying to get work on that as well with my real account, because I need to not sometimes be as patient. So I have to sometimes let go and scale and just close it. And if I still love the setup, I can definitely go back in if I feel that there's still momentum on the trade. So I don't scalp as well. So for those of you that know me, I'm not interested in buying a ticker that's just 5 cents. I won't take those kinds of trades. They just don't excite me. They're just not my style. It's not to say that they're not good tickers. They are, but I'm just not a scalper, unfortunately. So it's just not for me. If I spot them scalping, I always share the trade idea anyways, but I personally don't go in them because they're just not me. And also the scalping 5 cent tickers, surprisingly, the ones that I've actually sometimes assumed they're 5 cents because from the previous history that I've charted, sometimes surprisingly, they're not 5 cent tickers and they actually go a lot higher. They go like 10, 15, 20. And I've seen that happening. So sometimes I am making sure to not really just judge from previous runs that, oh, this is a 5 cent ticker, or they call it a pilot ticker, only because I've actually seen it more frequently now that the 5 cents are not just 5 cents anymore. So very interesting. So next slide, what are people saying? I've had people message me just so far about the challenge, the ones that have been doing it. Some of them said, it's made them practice their setups. Some of them may not have this kind of capital right now. There's a lot of new people or people with a smaller account. And they're just they're practicing with the group, going into a position sizing, scaling out. I mean, this platform is really good. I love this, whoever made this platform, it did a really good job. I've had some people, one person messaged me and said they thought it would be boring, but they actually said that being with a group doing this challenge is really good because they can see how they compare to other people. And then one person said to me that it's testing their own personal patience big time because similar to what I talked about, I'm guessing if I want to close any position on the virtual challenge. So it's, really making, I haven't done it yet, but, it's making me think. And that's the whole point of exercise. You've got to think, you got to make some decisions and you can't sit on them. Sometimes you have to make execute. So the next slide talks about trading as a community. And for me, I live and breathe this. Trading as a community is definitely important. It's been proven to enhance your educational trading knowledge and also your own personal experience. I think collaboration is so important. And so many people have such great talent and experience that I love when they share what they're doing, or they love when they share their opinions on maybe some due diligence they've done. And it just sometimes helps others to participate in a trade or helps them feel more confident in holding onto the setup that they're in. Sometimes people close the trade too fast. And then they're like, oh, I wish I would have waited. So sometimes, based on how the charts look, can't always be perfect. But I usually to kind of coach people and tell them that here's what I see and here's what I'm doing. But I don't expect people to ever follow. I think everyone should have their own exit plan and their own trading strategy that works for them because everyone has a different risk. And obviously, their risk is different than yours. So I'm going to go over now to questions because the contest I told you runs till the end of the year. And the Fireside chat, the next one will be later this month on the 31st with whoever's in first place. And so I'm going to open up the microphone to you guys to see if anyone has questions about this particular challenge or any comments they'd like to share about being in the challenge and sharing your experience so far. Nobody wants to talk to me? Oh, PS Trader, you're here? Okay, good. So I'm going to ask PS Trader to speak in a minute, but I just want to say that that I don't find it a distraction from trading, because I'm in the swing trades. So for me, I'm just going into some swings and I just wait, and I'm waiting and waiting. And it's not that exciting for me right now. So it's not a distraction. This challenge is very good for someone that, honestly, if you don't have a lot of money in your account right now and you sometimes get bored, you should do the challenge, because it actually is an excellent platform and pretty much real time. You can do market order, limit orders, trailing stop losses. You can do swings. So you can really it's very quick execution. So it doesn't really distract from what you're doing. Obviously, if you can't go in there and use the virtual platform, that's fine. But if you can, try your best to go in there and do things. So it's a really good tool. So, Piss Trader, you're here. Are you able to talk? Oh, okay. So regarding this, virtual challenge, I just want to say that I'm not going to tell people what position size to do, because this is why you're doing this virtual challenge. And if you're not in the virtual challenge, you can still join. There's no cutoff period, but obviously you have some catching up to do, because there could be some people that are so far doing really well with the account. So it's up to you to participate. But even so, even if you don't view it as a competition, it's fine. You should just do it just for your own personal benefit and practice, and to also engage in the monthly discussions that we're going to have regarding the 10K challenge. So I encourage you to make your own decision on position sizing, because that's the only way you're going to know what to do, So who else has a question? Someone asked me about XXII. Yes, I'm still in it, and my target's still $6. Dragon Fund, I don't know what you mean about, can we show the real account and scale it with our gains? Not for this venue. This is for virtual only. So I want people because the whole point of the virtual is that everyone starts with the same size account. Everyone's getting 10K. So no one's at a disadvantage. So, you use your 10K and take it to $1 million, or take it wherever you think you can do with it. Challenge yourself, and the whole beauty of it is, if you're making mistakes, you can learn from them. And, from there you become a better trader, or maybe you make better decisions. So some people like to practice a swing trade. Maybe they don't like swing trading, and they're like, I don't want to swing trade because it's boring, or I don't want to swing trade because I don't think swings work. And then, excuse me, they'll do it on this account, and they'll see that maybe it does work, and maybe that'll interest them to participate in swings. Or maybe they would have overnighted a day trade, so they would practice on this account. So the whole thing is to practice. So if you make the mistake, excuse me, you're doing it here. So anyone else has any comments or anything to add? No? Wow, what a quiet group.
No, not you. Sorry. I was talking to Dragonfly.
So
this is killer, by the way.
Oh, and I can see you there. How are you?
Good.
Good. So people are asking, Oak, are these questions from people for, I guess, the virtual account, or are they talking about real account?
I think he just collected a bunch of people's questions. And
okay. Oak. So I'll have to double check, but I believe if from tonight's, okay. So for the virtual challenge account, I believe that if you are you guys able to see your other peers where they rank in the because when I go in, I can see where everyone ranks. So you should be able to see. That's the whole point of the group, is that you can see where you rank in comparison to everyone else. And this way you can see who's at the top, and, creates collaboration. And, we look forward to hearing PS Trader, because so far he's in the lead. And I see Paula's doing really good. Oh, Killer T, you're on there too. Look at that. So, you guys know TJ. I mean, look, he's in 5th place, right? So he's obviously busy with other stuff, but, he is competitive. So he's going to be taking a look at this, and he's going to, maybe make some changes to some of his strategies. And remember, like I said, that I'm in a heavy swing position. So my current position right now, I'm at the very bottom. But, if my swing trade works and it profits, I could very easily move up in the top 10. So, sometimes don't be discouraged if you're using your virtual account for swing trades. When your setup comes to life and it triggers to the target you're looking for, then you know what? That's really good. Like, you'll be really happy, and it'll give you some confidence in your trading. So position sizing, again, for the platform, you need to think what you're going to do yourself. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You have to think. Someone else asked, what do I look for in a company? Well, if I'm swing trading something, like for a longer term, I actually like to go to read about what does the company do. I like to read the CEO's background. I like to look at the financials of the company. I really love this book from William O'Neill. And I use the CAN-SLIM methodology for the longer term swings, and really try to adhere to the criteria in CAN-SLIM. And I'll talk probably another night about CAN-SLIM, because that's a little bit more detailed, and I don't want to get anyone that's part of the virtual challenge all confused. But I really look at different things that that will help with making a decision on a swing trade. And right now I have in my personal account, I am swinging Mark. And I've known about Mark since the $5 range, and I was in conversation with Paula, and she actually knew about Mark when it was $3. So we were laughing about that, how we've known it, when it was so cheap. And you guys have seen that Mark went as high as $15. And, I was reading about Mark and where they're going. It's a company located in Vegas. They're very into AI technology. They're getting into the real estate AI, and they're going to develop some additional software that's going to be used in commercial real estate. And they're also doing some AI with a bank, and all the testing had to actually be validated and accepted as part of the compliance with the banks. And all that testing was done in 2017. So now that they passed compliance, obviously, there's probably going to be a PR in the near future. And this is just my own assumptions. Okay. So from what I've been reading and from the conference call that they had for the shareholders, they talked about what's coming down the pipes with additional future potential partnerships and, new business. So based on, the comments made, so I just made my own little assumption that, they probably have some catalyst coming or some PR. Probably, I'm going to say by the start of the second quarter. So definitely to me, Mark is a really good ticker. I love it. I love the company. I love the CEO. I love everything that they're doing. And I believe that this ticker is such a steal right now. I honestly think that it's definitely going to go to double digits. And when I say double digits, double the price of what it is now. So right now, I think it closed around, I'll have to check, but, it closed around, I think 14 something. So I anticipate, I would say in the next 6 months, I'm going to predict that this ticker could be $28 to $30. So, that's kind of what I'm envisioning and what I'm forecasting. There's no history to predict this because, this was a former IPO. So there is no trading data. There's nothing I can go on to make this assumption, but I'm just making this assumption based on upcoming revenues, and they're very cash positive. So this company has a lot of good things going for them. So, I'm, keeping confidence and faith in this ticker, and, we'll see what happens. I mean, who knows? I mean, I've actually had tickers in the past that I loved, and they actually didn't do that great. So, nothing's guaranteed in trading. Everything's a risk, even though we think that it's so amazing. You have to be realistic too. You have to know that sometimes it's not amazing and the company could announce, some sort of bankruptcy. It's happened to me before, where I was heavily involved in a ticker. It was called Sunny. They were involved in solar panels, and I was heavily vested in there, over 10,000. And you know what? That 10,000 was goodbye because they were filing for bankruptcy protection to OTC, and that was history for me. So that was a big blow up for me, and a lesson, because this ticker also met Can Slim. And I got to tell you, I was shocked when they went for bankruptcy. So that really made me realize every ticker is a risk. It doesn't matter what anyone says. Even like I sometimes, I talk to myself and I tell myself, oh, this is a really good ticker. You need to go in this trade. And I go in it and I swing it. I'm really, I could lose that money, no problem. So I'm fully aware of that. And, you have to have proper stops, obviously. But everything's a risk. Everything we do is a risk. Every day trading is a risk. Nothing's guaranteed. Even day trades don't always work. They go up, they go down so fast, and people get stuck. And, it's part of the trading business. But, that's why the virtual account is good, to practice some of these things that maybe you're not doing in your real account, and hopefully give you some experience to test your own judgment and see if what you're doing was right. So either PS Trader, are you here? You want to talk? No. No? Okay. Keller, are you here online?
Yeah, I'm here.
So do you want to talk a little bit maybe about your experience with the challenge so far? Because you're in third place.
Sure. I've just been, I've got 2 holdings right now. The Can Slim method is pretty cool. I started implementing something similar to that, just looking at the similar criteria in a couple of stocks that I picked. I'm holding RFP and MU as half of my account right now, and then the other half I day trade. And one of the advantages of this account challenge is you can short any stock. You don't have to like look for shorts. So just keep that in mind. I made pretty good money shorting CNET the other day on this account challenge. So just keep that in mind. You can, short the runners. It can be risky, but it can also be rewarding. You just have to pay attention to it. Just like it's your, like, I take it just as seriously as my own account. So
yeah, that's
you have to create the discipline and not treat it like it's fake. It's something. If you want to become a better trader, it's been a really good tool. Because I know PS Trader. He said he does he does pretty much like parallel to his real account. I have some parallel trades, but not all of them. Like I can't short CNET, but it's helping me build confidence in seeing the setups that I see, and like I don't short at all in my real account. Actually, I just haven't built up any confidence to do that yet, and so like this is helping me see those setups and start to do that. So I think this is a great thing that you've got going on here.
Yeah, I mean, I actually don't short. I actually did my first short the other day on Facebook, and that's a totally new experience for me. And I'm actually looking to probably practice more with this account to short and actually spotting a short, because you got to actually know how to read a chart when it's ready for a short. So I'm learning how to, do that too. Yeah. And it's a new experience for me. So definitely, for people that haven't shorted, and, there's, Super Bloom, he makes money on the long and on the short. And I'm like, I love that. I've never really met a trader that's done, the double benefit of on one ticker, where he longs the trade, and then when he starts when it's going down, he shorts it. I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I can't believe that you do that. And I thought that was like so interesting. So I thought, you know what, I need to learn how to do that too, because there's nothing wrong with making money on the way down. And I never, you don't need to be a specific way for trading. You can trade multiple styles. So this will be a good experience for me to practice that. Just because, it could be nerve-wracking, and I always think shorting's harder than going long, but the people that I know that short told me it's a lot easier than going long on a trade. So
yeah, I think you create some, you can probably, if you're only long, like you can create, like I know I've created some biases, like, I have the wishful thinking on a stock sometimes that I want it to go up. But what shorting does is it helps you recognize where the greed is in price action. You can start to see the opportunities on both sides, like you were saying, for sure. I think it's a good tool to, at least, even if you're not going to short in your real account, to at least be able to recognize, like, okay, like this is overextended, people are getting greedy. I need to get out, I need to sell the greed and buy the fear type of thing. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm glad that you're having a good experience with it. I mean, some platforms are really boring, but I have to tell you this platform, How the Market Works, they call it HTMW, but howthemarketworks.com is a really good platform to register, be part of a group that's in the challenge, and see how you compare to other people, and, incent yourself to improve. I mean, it's really percentage gains is what it's going by as well. So, it really is important to, try it and use it. And I don't care if anyone says, oh, I'm an expert, I don't need to do this. That's fine. But for me, I like to challenge myself all the time and learn different things. And you know what? I'm not a shorter. So I'm going to practice, shorting, and I'm going to practice holding on to swings, because sometimes I day trade too much. And maybe I tell myself, maybe I need to slow down sometimes and not have to be so stressed, because day trading is stressful. But the thing is, I love the excitement. So I have to learn how to balance that. And one way for me to balance that would be to maybe swing a bigger position instead. And this way I cut out some day trading and just let the position, just let the setup work its way up towards the target. So I want to try some different things so that I'm not, trading as much in day trades, even though I love it. So, I feel like sometimes I have an addiction to trading because I can't stop. I just love it. And I love looking for setups and momentum plays and even uncrowded tickers. But, sometimes it goes against me because then I have so many positions open and I need to slow down. So it's testing me a little bit. So I hope to improve in that area for myself personally. So anyone else have any questions? No? Okay, well, I will then close this challenge discussion off. If you have questions, though, about how to use the platform, please, you can message me and I will help you. And if you haven't, sorry?
PS Trader has a question for you.
Oh, PS Trader. Okay, yes. I know. Well, I've thought of that, that what if the same person is first place month after month? Well, maybe you'll want to give your interview to the second place person, and kind of a pay it forward. I've thought of that. I go, what if the same person's in first place for 2 months in a row or 3 months in a row? So, you know what? I would ask them to, by all means, would they mind passing over the baton to the second place person, so that, we could hear from them. And, again, we're all in it together. So we're here to collaborate. As much as we like to be competitive, at the end of the day, we just want to help each other. And that's why it's a community of trading, so that everyone, supports each other, helps each other, and, has a good time doing it. And, we have fun, we learn, we talk about it. So, this particular session tonight on the challenge is, maybe not as exciting, but, in the next couple of weeks when we actually, I'm going to interview whoever's first place. And I think I'm going to look to interview the most improved trader, because I want to hear from them too. I want to know what they've been doing. And I'm sure a lot of you would love to hear what they're doing, so that maybe you can use that strategy on your own account. So I really want to hear from so many different people. I'm also want to include, probably in some non-fireside chats, but probably on some challenge updates throughout the month, I might do a session where I want to talk to the girl traders, because I really want to see more women involved in trading. And I want more women to be more into the, more, I guess, into trading, but, bring a highlight to financial literacy and not be intimidated by Wall Street. So I really want to, Carlos, you're so funny. He says that being discriminatory. No, but, this trading is so dominated by men. So I really have to get women to be more involved. And, sometimes women were intimidated by the market, and we have to not be worried and intimidated, and know that, women have proven to have so much patience and can be really good traders. So I want to hear women talk about their trading journey. So I'm going to have more women also talk and share their experience, because there's a lot of really good talent out here. And I'm meeting so many great women traders that have good experience, and some of them starting with small accounts and growing it and being so patient. So I want to share that, because some people say, how come I'm patient? I think sometimes, honestly, it's like a woman's characteristic. I think women in general are more patient. So it has nothing to do with that I'm such, that I'm so good at something. I'm not. I'm just, I can be impatient too. And I mean, Super Bloom is getting so much better at being patient. But, he made me laugh the other day because he takes a swing trade and then he said he's going to hold it into next week. And then after 10 minutes, he told me close the trade. And I said, it's not a day trade. It's a swing trade. Why'd you close the trade? He goes, I don't know. And I said, oh my God, what are you doing? What are you doing? So I didn't understand his logic, and I kept grilling him and saying, can you explain to me what you were doing on GNK? And it's a shipping ticker. And, I love that ticker and I love the company. And I said to him, what are you doing with that? It's going to have a new 52-week high very soon. And I anticipate this coming week that the ticker, I would like to see it go towards $16. I'm hearing it's going to go to maybe 20. Different people are forecasting that, but I'd be happy with 16. And he says, I don't know what I'm doing. I closed the trade. And I said, but it's a swing. And, I just couldn't understand. But then I came to the conclusion that, his patience level, sometimes maybe he thinks holding it for 10 minutes is a swing trade. So I thought, okay, 10 minutes was enough for him. And then, of course, what happened is when he closed the trade, he actually closed it, I think, for a small loss. Maybe I think it was down like a couple pennies. And then as soon as that happened, of course, it went, I think 7 or 8 cents higher than his entry. So I don't know. He's hilarious. I don't know what to say sometimes. I'm speechless. So, Jim, GNK had a great Friday. So anyways, Superblim, I am talking to you live on the air. Okay. He says I'm talking behind his back. I am not. I'm live on the air. So the markets, as you guys know, are closed tomorrow for Martin Luther King Day, but the Canadian markets are open. So there will be probably people trading on Canadian markets, even though I got to tell you, Canadian markets are not as exciting, but I will say not to be overlooked. The Canadian market has a lot of good plays, especially now with the marijuana stuff happening. There's a lot of good pot plays. And there are a lot of good Canadian companies that also are really good on the Canadian side. So, there's a lot of good Canadian companies. BlackBerry is Canadian, and they were not doing very well at one point. And I remember last year in around April, May, that BlackBerry was not even $10. It was, I believe, $5 or $6. And I kept saying, you know what? CEO is going to turn this company around. And he's done a really good job. And, look at BlackBerry now. It's, heading towards 15, 16, probably even 20. So, never discount. Canadian companies are good. I think people sometimes focus too much on U.S. Tickers, which is normal. I mean, the more volatile there. But surprisingly, a lot of Canadian tickers have some good volatility too. So I have to keep my eye out for that. And so Canadian markets are open tomorrow. And what else? Crypto markets are open. Well, of course they're open. I mean, why would crypto be closed? I mean, that thing's 724. And it's a very exciting time, crypto players. So, but it's scary, right? Because crypto's so volatile. So someone has a question, Trader Tech, how do you enter the stock on break of resistance? So I look for the break of the resistance. And I look at the previous history. So I look at the 3-month, the 6-month, the year. And what I do is I find the resistance point, and then when it breaks, that's my confirmation to enter. So when I say over, so sometimes I'll give a ticker and I'll say over 125. So that means when it goes to 126 or a little more. If you don't get filled at 126, 127, I mean, I wouldn't chase it. But if it definitely goes over 125, so anything over 125 is a good spot. But remember, you don't want to be chasing this. So usually I try to be a little more succinct, and I try to give you the actual entry spot, because I really like to recommend people do limit orders and not market orders. I remember when I started trading, I did market orders because I didn't even know what a limit order was. And I used to think, oh, the chat room I was in, the person just said they're in a trade at $2.30. How come I didn't get filled at 2.30? And I then learned that, oh, well, that's because I did market. So I obviously overpaid. So that made me, wake up and have to learn, how to read books and learn how to read charts and learn how to do proper orders. And, I very, very rarely place a market order. Usually I do a limit order. I don't care if the ticker's running. Sometimes I will wait for a pullback and then I'll go in. I have done market order. I'm not saying I haven't, but I will not do market orders on a regular basis. So it's just not my style, to put a market order. For me, I rather put a limit order if I have to pay more, because the ticker is running a little bit, then I'll put a limit order at the most of what I'll pay, and then I'll adjust my stop loss accordingly based on my entry price of where I'm going in. But I'm not going to put a market order, too risky. So SGRP. So let me tell you about SGRP. Well, that was a day trade, and I did not close the trade. I actually was anticipating that that it would actually break the high of day of 375. It did not. It actually went down, and it kept going down. It's actually met a significant loss right now. So I, before the end of the day, I thought, what should I do with this ticker? And I thought, you know what, I'm going to wait on it, because I took a look at the company, and I actually like where this company is going. I looked at their cash position, and it actually looked very solid. And so based on just that criteria alone, I thought to myself, I'm not going to close this trade. I'm just going to hold it. I'm going to swing it, and I'm just going to wait. So I am holding a bag, but you know what? It's the reality of the trade. However, for me, I mean, could I close it for a loss? Yes, but I reassessed the ticker, and I decided I'm not closing it, and I validated my reasons why. And it was really based on the fact that I liked the financial position of the company, and I still like the float. And I believe that on Tuesday it's going to gap up. I don't know where it's going at this time. I really don't. So I'm just going to be patient on it and then see where it is, where it's going to go. But it was definitely a good day trade. Whoever got in that and got out, they did a really good job on exiting the trade and closed it really nicely. So, another question was, when do I get out after entry? So, it really depends. I mean, I used to, in the past, close my trade in full. I used to get out, make my 10%, 20%. We've seen tickers go 100%, and then I would get out. And I mean, there's nothing wrong. No one goes broke exiting a trade. So I don't regret any of those decisions. But sometimes I have, let's say, said to myself, why did I close so soon? And so I've had to change what I do. And so my strategy really is to scale out in sizes. So I might scale, 30% at a time, or 25%, then scale out another 25%, or scale out 50, then 25, and then I let the remaining 25 ride, just to see, sometimes I have confidence that it's going to go higher. So based on volume and the charts. So I strictly base it on that. And then I hold on to the rest. So at least if it doesn't, then at least I'm not losing as much. My position loss will be smaller than holding it a full 100% size. So I'll scale out the size, not scale out from the ticker. So anyone else have a question? So I will let you guys enjoy your night. I really appreciate that a lot of you gave your time tonight to be here. And, I try to pick 8 o'clock because some people, want to eat dinner at 6 and they might have small kids and hopefully by 8 o'clock they're in bed. So I want to make sure that 8 o'clock's a good time and seems to be a good time for a lot of people. So I really want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I look forward to reconnecting with everyone in the next 2 weeks, and I'll be doing a follow-up session. Stay tuned for that. And I look forward to everyone's success on the challenge. And if you're not signed up, sign up. I think you'll like it. And if you have any questions, let me know. I will help you. And we will, as a team, do great together. So have an amazing night. And I look forward to seeing you guys on Tuesday. Okay? All right, guys and girls. I always have, want to see girls here. So, ladies, have a fabulous night. And guys, have a good night. Bye for now.
Tell me when you want to use it. I want to use it right now. Yeah. Okay, so what do you want to use it for? Today. YouTube? Yeah.